Morning sunshines. I wanted to go live real quick and I wanted to just cover some very important pieces of content. We are 3 days away before we start Sold Out Launch, which is my brand new experience where I'm literally taking women through an entire launch hand in hand. I will be giving them, I have like the coolest ideas. I'm going to literally pretend like I am their ideal client and I'm going to be asking them questions and they're going to get this every single day. So I won't be doing this part live with them, but they'll be getting like these little messages. They'll be getting like these little messages from me and it'll prompt them to then tell a story in their content. And I have so much more going into this program. I don't even care. I will tell you all the details because you getting inside of this program is going to absolutely blow your mind. So if you are interested in Sold Out Launch, send me a DM. I want to talk to you about it. I want to make sure it's the right fit for you. The only people who are getting access to the link to join is my email list. So if you're not on my email list, I'm not going to send you the link until you tell me to. So I want to make sure that this is right for you. I want to make sure that you're going to get the most out of this. And I've actually turned a couple people away because I don't want to bring you into this room if I don't feel like it's the right time and place for both of us. So before I dive into the overall content structure of a launch, some people will tell you that your launch should have like all these different strategies. They will tell you things like you need to have a 72-hour bonus. You need to, like a bonus where you're adding something on that people are like, it's undeniable. If I get into this program, then I get this for free. And they're like, their mind is blown. Some people will tell you that that is required during a launch. Some people will tell you that you need to do like a price increase. So maybe your price is lower during doors are open and whatever, you increase the price along the way. There's all these different strategies. Some people will tell you to do like a secret sale, a behind the scenes sale. And I'm not saying any of these strategies are wrong. I'm really not. Some people will tell you like, do like a crazy, curious marketing, like very mysterious type thing. None of these strategies are wrong. And probably all of these strategies work to a certain degree. What's missing from these strategies is when people like you and I have been in your shoes before, we've gotten our hands on these strategies for a launch and we've thought to ourselves, if I just follow this strategy, like yes, if I do the 72-hour bonus, if you sign up, blah, 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 if you're like I'm going to cap my offer at 5 seats, the first 5 people that get in are going to get a one-on-one call with me, like whatever you do, you think to yourself, if I just do those things, like this will definitely create some hype. And you're missing an entire chunk. Arguably, the launch itself is missing from the entire strategy. When you are launching an offer, the most important part of the launch is your mission. It is your energy. It is the brand that you're building within this experience that you've created for people to join. And the only way that you can create this ethos, if you will, this aura around this new offer is through your content. And so if you're not hitting the mark on your content and you're just posting like, I don't know, I have a couple clients who have come to me after a failed launch and they're like, dude, I don't get it. I post it every single day. Like I was very consistent. Sometimes I even posted 3 times a day. I went live once a week. Like I sent the emails, I did all the things. And I'm like, bro, when I look at your content, I have no idea what you're even saying. Or like you're just trying to sound like an authority because someone told you being spicy works. And here's the thing, like if you aren't doing the work to get to know like why you created this offer in the first place or why this idea was planted or given to you through some higher power, whatever you believe in, if you're not doing the work to uncover that, if you're not doing the work to understand like what type of woman do I need to turn into to hold this room? Like what are her characteristics? What does she believe? How does she live her life? And then if you don't put those things to test, then it's no wonder why your launches aren't blowing your damn mind yet. So I want to give you for free the content, I don't want to call them frameworks, but like the overall content arc, if you will, of what is required during a launch. And I will just be completely honest with you. I don't ever feel like I'm even in a launch because when I'm in a launch, like I don't ramp up what I'm doing. I don't do more of anything. I'm doing the same amount that I always do. I'm steady with my business. I show up consistently. I run my business as if doors are actually open every single day. So when it comes to a launch, like I'm not necessarily like doing more. I'm not adding more to my plate. I'm not hustling harder. I'm simply shifting the nuance of what my message is front facing. So it's very, very much known that I'm inviting into something. I think that's another thing is like I sometimes have these clients that come to me and they're like, yeah, this was the launch that failed. And I'm like, tell me the timeline of when that launch occurred so I can go look at your content of what you posted during that time frame. And I go and look at their content and I'm like, girlfriend, I love you, but like there's not a single person that probably knew that you were inviting into something during this time frame. You have to make it known. And if you don't make it known, no one's going to know. And if they don't know, then they can't simply feel pulled. They can't feel magnetized towards you. So let's start from the top. You create this offer, you create a program. I don't care if it's a one-on-one space, like truly if it's an in real life event or a retreat, whatever you got going on. You came up with this experience that you wanted people to be a part of. You wanted to invite people into. And this experience is hopefully solving a very specific problem. So that's the first place is like, you're not creating this experience for the vibes. You're not creating this experience because you had a really good title idea and you're like, oh my gosh, this one's gonna like be so good on my website and like the colors are good and the graphic is amazing. Like, yes, those things get to be very fun, but you created this offer because you wanted to solve a problem. So we need to know what that problem is. And if we don't know what that problem is, then none of the rest of the stuff can actually fall into place. Once you understand that and you get crystal clear on that, and there's a lot that goes into it because it's not just a surface level problem that's going to make this program very strong. And I go into all of this inside of Sold Out Launch. So if you're like listening to this and you're like, dude, this is what I need. Like I need this coaching. I also don't coach to like a concept. I will have you on my live calls and I will workshop with you. So I'll have you drop things in the chat and I will question you. I will challenge you in a loving way. We will go back and forth. And this is another reason why I do keep my experiences intimate. There's not going to be hundreds of people in here. You're going to be seen in my room. So we will go back and forth on that because the problem isn't just surface level. There's many different angles to this problem. And we will have to understand all of that. This problem is something that you are qualified to lead, qualified to teach, qualified to help someone transform and overcome because you've been through it yourself. You can't, like, I couldn't teach someone about, I just got a phone call, sorry. I couldn't teach someone about giving birth, for example, because I've never given birth. So it's like that these things you are most qualified to teach what you have been through, what you've experienced yourself, and what you've done the work to understand perspective on. That's another thing that I think is missing. It's like, oh, I can teach people how to lose 10 pounds because I lost 10 pounds. But if your losing of 10 pounds only goes as deep as like, here, only eat vegetables, and you're not doing any of the identity work, then again, it's just not, your power isn't there yet. So when we cross the first mark, we've got your creative offer. We've got, we understand the problem. We understand, where this happened in your life. Again, we haven't even gotten to the solution yet, so slow your roll. Then you start to create captivating content. So in your captivating content, you're basically telling the story, the raw and the real story of how you have overcome this problem or how you have moved through it. And it's as simple as like, I went from A to Z, here's what I did, and here's how I feel, and here's how I think, and here's how it changed my life. And there's so many different ways you can tell the story. That doesn't just go into one piece of content and you say, check, I did it. Like, okay, move on. That's not how this works. This is an experience. Like you're basically putting on a show during your launch. Then you will come from a place after you've really understood that story and that personal story. You'll come from a place of who do you serve inside of this experience? Who do you want to help the most? And the reason that it's very important to understand the who is because if you don't know exactly who she or he is, then you'll be speaking to the masses. And again, the person that you really want to work with, they won't feel pulled. So for example, I don't speak to a lot of I don't speak to a lot of money. I do talk about monetary gains, and I do talk about like the potential of being wildly rich in this industry and what we're doing, but I'm very aware of how often I do that because I don't want to call in the woman who just wants to do this for a quick buck or who just wants to do this for like overnight riches. I don't believe that exists. I believe what we're doing here is all about inner work and personal development. So I speak a lot to that because I want the women who are going to come in and be willing to be open with me and be willing to be stretched in that regard. The money is a byproduct. So it's like, you have to understand that about who you're working with. And, we will get crystal clear on that together. And a lot of times you can't really see it. You're like, oh, well, I feel like I'm being very specific. And that's where I come in as your coach. And I'm like, oh no, I think we can get a little bit even more specific here. Like, I think we can get even deeper on who this person is. So there's that piece. Then we'll go into creating captivating content that speaks to her. But before you speak to her in her pain, because again, if you call people in while they're in pain, they're going to come into your world while they're in pain, and they're not necessarily ready to make moves. You want them to be so fed up with the pain. They're at their, I'm done, F this moment. I need you because I'm ready to make moves. That's the type of person you're going to call in. And the way that you do that is you create captivating content that speaks to her identity. She has this circumstance that she's in. We're not going to beat her up and kick her while she's down, but she has this identity that she needs to be lovingly tapped on the shoulder and be like, yo, this isn't working anymore. So we'll speak to that. And then we're going to also tie in the story of your identity along with hers. And the reason that that's important is because when we are talking to like this higher level, instead of just surface level type stuff, it's important that you say like, I've been there without necessarily saying that verbatim. Like you're basically explaining like, I've been there. I know what this feels like by using explicit language, not in a way where you're like cussing, but I mean, explicit, like hyper specific. So then we've created that sort of content. That's a part of the show. So we're moving through the show, and then you get crystal clear at this point, crystal clear on the recipe of the transformation. So we'll go back to when you were experiencing this. And sometimes it's hard for you to remember because at the moment when you reach the transformation, it's sometimes hard for you to gather like, well, what exactly did I do? So we take a moment there, we get very present and we go backwards. Like, what did you do? Like, what were your thoughts? What were you feeling? And a lot of times, actually all the time, it's never linear. So that's another piece of this is like, we're going to be very real with the audience when we talk about this. But when it comes to you creating the recipe of the transformation, you think that you have to have the curriculum baked out from the jump. And that's where people do this wrong. You don't know the recipe to the transformation until you've started putting stuff out there and connecting with people. And you've understood like, oh, like, yeah, this is what they need the most. Like, this is what's going to make the biggest impact. So when you create the recipe of the transformation and we have that fully baked out, and again, this isn't we won't be creating like, modules ahead of time. We won't be creating like pre-recorded videos. You're simply just going to create the recipe as if you're baking a cake that has never been baked before. And I will help you on this because I love the artistry of curriculum. And I also think I've been someone who has created very boring curriculum in the past. And I want to help you create curriculum that has no fluff. So this is also going to add into like you strengthening the way that you coach, strengthening the way that people connect and get results in your world. So we will go through your curriculum. We will go through what you're going to deliver to the people that are in your room physically or virtually. Will strengthen all of that. Once you understand the recipe to the transformation, that's when we then start to create captivating content. And I keep saying captivating content because that's intentional. Like if your content isn't captivating, it's not grabbing people, it's not reaching out of the screen and like touching their heartstrings, then we need to refine that. So we'll go through that in live time. But the next piece of captivating content within the show is now you get to call out their gaps. And a lot of people jump to this. They think I have to call out their gaps. I have to be very coachy and like speak at people, and I have to attack them in order for them to see that I'm an authority, in order for them to feel like I am up here and they need me because they're down here. And it's like, no, sister, slow down, slow your roll. You have to earn the right to do that, in my opinion, or else you can try to do it right away, but it's not going to hit the same. So if you want people to listen to you when you do call out the gap, because at this point you know the gap because you just created the recipe. Now when you call out the gap, you give away the remedy for free. You give away the recipe, the remedy for free. Stop holding back. Stop being a gatekeeper. See what I'm doing here? I'm giving you my entire launch idea. You can take it. You can have it. I can guarantee you it's not going to, you go ahead and try. It will help you. Okay. I will say that. If you do everything I'm telling you to do in this video right now, it will absolutely change your life. But the moment that you get into my world and we can work together and you can get a taste for the room, and I'm giving so much more. This is truly the barest of bare minimums. That's why I think it's so important. Give it all away. I do not subscribe to this, teach the what, not the how. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I have no shortage of wisdom when it comes to this stuff. I will never run out. By the moment that you are listening to this video and doing these steps, I've already learned 10 more things. I've already learned 100 more things. I'm already ahead. So it's give it all away. Tell people everything that you know and help them. Come from a place of I know this is going to serve you. I know this is going to help you. And then you can invite them into your world eventually. But in this content, you have called out the gaps. So you're not just saying hey, you're not where you want to be. You're unhappy. Your life sucks. I'm being dramatic with that, but that the type of content where it feels like that, you're not leaving them there. You're then giving insights. And this is what I do call it, insight in my world. I don't call it education. I don't call it value. I don't even call it service. I call it insights. You are this magnificent, powerful woman who has been through some ish. You don't have there's no cap on the insights that you have. So start giving them away. Start giving them away. And I can also guarantee you, once you start giving away your insights will actually strengthen. So for free, that's what you're going to do. And then you'll move into the part of the show during your launch where you then create captivating content dripping in their desire. Dripping in their desire. And I don't just mean oh, you want to feel more confident, or oh, you want to make more money, or oh, you finally want to fit into all of your clothes from, I don't know, 5 years ago. That's not super desirable yet. So I will teach you my theories behind dripping in desire type of content. But the key to this is you want to expose the afterlife. You want to really make it known, if you work with me, the afterlife, what it's going to look like for you when we're finished here is wildly different from what you're currently experiencing. And you almost feel so convicted about this that it's I know I feel so convicted about this. I'm if you come into my world during any program, I know for a fact that your life will be changed if you show up, if you put in the work. And if it doesn't, I'll give you your money back, because that's where I'm that's a me problem. If you're doing everything I tell you to do and you're present and you're showing up and you're putting in the work and you don't get the results, that's crazy. I know for a fact that your life will be changed. That's dope. The afterlife. Never heard that before. Yay. Thank you. Okay. Then you move into, we're getting ready to close out the show here, but I will say I'm always in a launch, even if I'm not launching a certain offer. I talk about my business, I talk about my brand in a way where it's always alive. I don't care if I'm not even trying to sell. I don't show up in my content anymore to necessarily have the intention of I hope that this finds somebody so that they buy from me. I show up in my content to say, this is going to strengthen my brand. It's going to plant a seed in my ideal client's mind. And eventually they're going to be able to it's going to compound so fast. They're not going to handle it. They're going to be dude, I need to hire you. How do I get in? So at this point is the end of the show where you have begun your program, and it might be day 1. It might be day 2. Who knows? You already should have proof of concept. And what I mean by that is you're going to create content around the experience that people are having with you in your world. And this is something that I used to really overthink. I used to be well, if people aren't making tens of thousands of dollars and I'm a business coach, why I can't talk about my clients until that they have those results. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So I don't care what your niche is. If you're not a business coach, maybe, I don't know what your niche is. It doesn't matter. There are certain messages that you're getting. There are certain experiences that you're providing that you're not really exposing to the front-facing marketing. They're happening behind the scenes, but you're not talking about it. And this is like the document versus create theory, where it's like you have been in this mode of create, create, create. Well, now we're closing the door. We're finishing the show with you documenting like, yo, if you didn't get in yet, here's what you're missing. Like, here's what's happening. And that's the goal for this final phase is like you kind of want to take this. I don't care if you get one person in your world. Like, let's say you get one person. That one person could change your life, by the way, could change your entire business. But if you blow this one person's mind and you give this one person everything you've got and they have a good experience with you, though that experience, when you talk about it, when you share about it, will absolutely change the trajectory of your business. And no one's coaching to this. No one is coaching you on how to talk about what's happening behind the scenes. They'll say like, yeah, go post a client spotlight and go tell a story about how you help someone. Make sure you have like testimonials and reviews. And it's like, that's like it's like telling someone to go play defense and being like, you need to play better defense. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, do I need to move my feet quicker? Like, do I need to move my hands? Like, do I need to like, I don't know, like go side to side differently? Like, what are you talking about defense? Anyway, back to this. It's like the way that you tell a story of proof of concept, the way that you talk about what you're doing behind the scenes is very important. Very, very, very important. I think even there's always room to improve. Like I could definitely do a better job at this too. But when you unlock and you expose what's happening behind the scenes, people have this natural tendency to have FOMO. They're like, oh shoot, like I want to be a part of that. So this comes in with your ability to document what you're doing. And I will teach you all of that. The last piece here is naturally throughout this entire show, throughout the entire launch, is you inviting, selling, serving, repeat. It never ends. It never ends, but it should never, ever, ever feel salesy. It should never feel like it's forced. It should never feel icky. It should never be something that you dread. If you are having a hard time coming up with what to say, or like you're running out of momentum or motivation, but you created this offer that you're so passionate about, like you love it, then there's a disconnect here. But this is why I move through these different phases and come at content from all different angles, because we are human beings and we do need to switch up. We do need to have like this different play sometimes, like this different aspect, this different story. Like you can't just keep saying the same thing over and over again, because yes, you will get bored. So that's everything I'm teaching you inside of this program. And we're starting in 3 days. And I created the kickoff call already. I have all of the juice that's going to go into that. And it's freaking lit. It is insane. I pride myself, truly. I've bought enough programs. I've been in enough coaching containers at this point, and I think they all have their magic in their own respect. But I pride myself on being a very rare coach in the fact that I'm not just going to teach you the strategy and like what to do and when to pull on certain levers. I'm going to teach you how to heal yourself. That's my specialty. Like if you are disconnected from who you are and you're disconnected from your truth, then there's no possible way that you can be authentic. And so I work with you through that and I support you. And there will be times where I do like coach very tough love. And there's times where I coach you and I'm like your biggest cheerleader, truly. So if you're interested in Sold Out Launch, which is everything that I just told you times 10, we are going deep in on this stuff and we're doing it in real time. So it's not like you're going to sit back and take notes. Like you will be creating this content in real time and I will be helping you with message refinement. I will be helping you with ideas. I will be helping you with your timeline of events. I will be helping you pull on different levers to actually like use a real strategy. And then this skill that you learn inside of Sold Out Launch is something that you can replicate again and again and again for every launch and every offer that you create. I think you'd be absolutely crazy to not join this program. Truly, if you're sitting back and you're like, I feel like I dread a launch. I feel like it feels overwhelming. I feel like it never goes the way that I want it to go. and like I do okay, like people are coming into my world, but I want my world to like pop off. Like I truly want to be known for something, and I want it to just go crazy. If that's you, then this is your program. This is your experience. And if you have any questions whatsoever, my DMs are open. Again, just slide in my DMs. You can slide in my DMs with the word launch, and I will send you voice notes. Like we will go back and forth. You can ask me whatever questions you have. And again, I'm not sending you the link to this program until you tell me to. I'm convincing nobody to join this. That's not my job. I don't care to even take that on. It's like exhausting to me. I don't want to have to convince you. There's already over 12 women inside of this program. So the seats will cap at a specific number. And when I feel like they're capped and I don't want to take any more in, I will let you know. And yeah, that's a wrap. I hope to see you in my DMs, and I hope you have a great day. Mwah.